You know, one of the greatest examples of a person who uses not only her intellect, uses her knowledge, and one of the wisest kids that I've ever met, who has a special part in my personally heart. She is, according to my wife, like her daughter. So that means that she's my daughter too, which I love with all my heart. Is one of our student leaders who honestly has the potential to literally take over the entire world. Um, Literally a giant piece of my heart, which is going to be our special guest tonight. Her name is Pamela.
Damn it.
Welcome.
Hey, Pammy.
What's up? How
Talking to
are
you.
you?
I'm good.
Oh, okay.
It's good to
How are you
have you
guys?
here. Very good, man. We love you very much. How's it going? Good?
Yeah, everything's good.
How you holding out in this during this whole time of quarantine and doing school from home?
We're doing good. I'm doing okay. I'm just trying to keep busy doing work and just talking to my family more.
It's good, right?
The
Today
usual.
I learned that I have a
Sometimes.
sister.
There's
My
this lady
house.
that screams in the house. Apparently, she's my mother. Yeah.
That's good. And everything has been going well for you and all that stuff when it comes to like
Yeah.
schooling and stuff. So,
Yeah, everything's going great.
well, thank you for coming on to the show. You're our latest guest, and it's an honor to have you here representing the Bridge North Elizabeth. How much do you love Bridge North Elizabeth? What is your latest memory and your earliest memory of Bridge North Elizabeth?
My earliest memory of Virgin Elizabeth. Oh my God. Um, I mean, I remember like when we were first transferred there, it was like kind of weird, like getting used to it. It was a new school. I hadn't been to Bridge North Elizabeth yet. I was at Bridge. Um, it was like 18 when 18 was first day. That's where I first started,
And that's it,
and
North
then I was
Elizabeth, just so you know.
Yeah.
yeah, that used
The
to be
original
yeah.
North
Oh
Elizabeth.
wait,
That's
that's
the
the original,
original
I guess.
North Elizabeth.
So that's my earliest, I guess, memory of North Elizabeth. Um, so I remember like when we were invited there, it was like we sat with Lori at the front, like outside the gym, and we just talked about like anything and everything. We like painted our nails. Niobe was there. We were just talking. That's my earliest. And then I guess my latest was recently, like the very last bridge that we had before all of this happened. Um, in Bridge North Elizabeth, I started kind of taking a little bit more responsibility, at least with like the administration part of it. So I guess like that's like my like latest
That's awesome.
memories of it.
Well, thank you for like coming here, and when we have a special video to show that represents you. A great big announcement that I know that when my wife found out through text message, she was so happy and so proud. Um, Billy, I think you have it on standby, right, boss?
Oh jeez.
Yes, I do.
Whenever you're ready, let's play it.
Hi everybody, my name is Pam and I am a student leader at Bridge North Elizabeth, and this morning I got a request from Leslie telling me to make a video talking about NJIT, my scholarship, and unicorn. So I want to fulfill her request. Here we go. I will be attending NJIT in the fall. I actually got a full scholarship. I got a full ride to be able to attend the university, and I am so thankful to God for providing me this opportunity. I am going to be working towards a biomedical engineering major. And unicorns. Did you know that a unicorn horn is called an alicorn? And if you did know that, another fact is that Genghis Khan, who was one of the leaders of the Mongol Empire, he didn't conquer India because on his way there with his troops, he allegedly saw a unicorn that bowed down to him, and he believed that that was a sign, so he turned the troops around and didn't conquer India. Did I do a good job, Leslie?
Hey.
So, Pam, you're going to NJIT.
Yeah, I am.
Billy knows that's a good school, right, Bill?
I've heard of it. Right there. I spent
Congratulations.
I'm
Thank
so
you
proud of you. I was
guys.
just watching it. We're watching on delay, so I just got to the unicorns part. You're so funny.
I mean, you told
Congratulations.
me.
All
You
right.
guys.
What?
We're so proud of you.
Girl.
That's amazing to go to school for free. I'm still paying student loans for 52 credits.
And that wasn't
Okay.
her only choice. Like she had to pick. You got accepted to how many colleges?
6.
Wow.
What?
I only got accepted to UCC.
Me too.
I couldn't even afford to apply to 6 colleges.
UCC didn't even want me out of beg.
Pam was like, "You get a scholarship. You get a scholarship."
I wish that I got a scholarship to go. I was on the plan of work 3 jobs and pay for it myself to go to school.
I feel your pain.
Yeah.
Yes.
Although it was, I think, about half the price when I was there compared to what it's going to cost you now.
Yeah,
But,
man.
Crazy.
But extremely proud of you, man, and great and good job. You know, we were just you're probably catching up on the show, and we were talking about the importance of education, the importance of schooling, and why school is so important. I mean, for someone who took school extremely seriously, why is that so important to you? Why is going to school so important to you? And what advice you give to others who are contemplating if school is important or not?
Well, I mean, at school is like Lee said, it's like where you learn your basic information and things that like are. You may think that they're not useful at the time while you're learning them, but you never know when you're gonna use them in life. And I think it's extremely important to be educated because you also don't want to be caught off guard if it ever comes to a point where like you need to have education about something and you don't. And I think it's important to pursue an education, even if you're doubtful about it, to be prepared because you never know what happens. And if there's anyone out there that's like on the fence on whether they should get an education or not, I guess, of course, like an education is not everything, but it is extremely important, especially in times like today, where literally having an education is like key for a lot of things, especially in this country. So I recommend, pursuing some form of education.
Yeah, I mean, even if you are the greatest basketball player in your middle school, the greatest baseball player in high school,
NJIT doesn't have
or a
those.
football player. Well, I know that. You guys thinking athletes. Only Rutgers, New York, and Rutgers Newark is the only sports. Oh,
Well,
one of the
actually,
schools-
we had a good basketball team a couple years ago, from what I read in the news. But other than that, NJIT Highlanders are not known for their athletic prowess.
Highlanders. What kind
Yeah,
of
it's a
mascot
horrible
is that?
name.
Highlanders. Isn't that a
But-
Toyota?
It's a
That
Scottish.
is-
It's a Scottish warrior.
It's definitely a car. But
It's a
what I'm
great.
saying
It's a
is
great
that-
movie from the 1980s.
Is it about hiking?
It's about an immortal Scottish warrior.
Oh, okay.
So, like you could be the greatest athlete in the world. In order for you to go to these universities, to go to school for like Duke, or to go to school to like Kansas and all that stuff, you need to graduate high school in order to even be able to go to these schools. So schooling is extremely important. Learning how to read, write, and all that good stuff. Paying attention to what the teacher's trying to say. Listen, I know the teacher might be corny at times. The things might be a little bit silly, but it's extremely important to go to school.
And you know what? Even if you do play sports, like for a lot of our bridge kids, I know that they rely heavily on that for their future. When you're in college, playing for those teams, you still have to maintain a GPA. And what a lot of people don't know is when you join the NBA, they make you take finance classes because back in the day, they had NBA players going broke because they came from broken communities and they had no money management skills. They would make all these millions of dollars and they would lose it. Like they would literally be just like as regular schmegular as all of us, like even though they were NBA stars. So it's really important to know that even if that's the path you go, you need to have education.
Yeah.
If you want to be an artist, even if you want to be a musician, guess what? You need to know how to read contracts. You need to know how to have an accountant, a lawyer, all of that stuff. So education is important even if you don't want to take the school route. Like you still need to be wise about all of those things.
Exactly. So, Kirsten, so Pam, we got a couple questions for you. All right. Question starting with me is your sixth grade year. My goodness, I can't speak,
Education.
yo. You were my wife Lori's student, and actually her first year ever teaching. You were her student, her first year ever teaching. So you were the first time she ever taught. You were her student. How was my wife Lori as a teacher?
Ooh.
Ten cuidado because she's watching right now.
I've told this story before. I don't know if like all of you know it, but at first, when I first met Lori, I was supposed to be in another class. I wasn't even supposed to be in her class. And I walked in and she was yelling at the class. And I immediately became terrified of her. I was terrified of Lori. I was new. I didn't know anybody. And, I mean, later on, I figured out that it was just that my class was terrible. But, like 2 days later, I mean, I love Lori. She's been such an important part of my life, and having her as a teacher was amazing. And she introduced me to Bridge, so it was great.
Thank God for Lordy.
Remember last we were talking about thankfulness and how you're grateful for somebody. Lori's watching the show right now. Anything you want to tell her?
Yeah, I'm so thankful that God put you in my life, Lori, because without meeting you, I wouldn't be where I am today. Like, God knows where I would be if I wouldn't have gotten the opportunity to have you as a teacher and learn from you and have your invitation to Bridge. So thank you so much for all of that and just for being there for me, like always.
Mm-hmm.
Look at God. Look at God.
Look at
Yo,
God.
word. He placed you in that classroom. He was like, "Here, I'm gonna make this happen."
He like he looked at your schedule. He's like, "Whoa, no, you got to be in this class."
That's awesome. All right, Christina, you want to ask a question?
Yes, and I'm actually going to change my question. Oh my God, don't hate me. But I was going to ask you what your favorite thing about Bridge was, and we're going to scratch that question because we're on the topic of like wisdom and learning. So my question for you is, what is one of the most important things that Bridge ever taught you?
One of the most important. Whoa. I mean, through the Bridge, I've learned a lot about unity.
Wow.
And like being comfortable and being able to be open with people because you know that they have your back and that God places certain people in your life and that everybody in your life has a purpose. And like it's amazing how like united we are at Bridge, which is ironic, like the whole Bridge United thing. But it's like I'm really glad, that I have all of you. And I've learned that it's important to like thank God and also to just be surrounded by people that are also followers of God that just like you and help you and walk with you in this journey.
What's up? By the way, Lori just texted me, said that you made her cry. But okay. Leslie,
yes,
next.
my turn. So my question for you, Pammy, if you could go back in time, freshman year, yesterday, a year ago, sixth grade, as a kid, whatever, what is something you wish you knew, or what advice would you give yourself? It doesn't have to be school related. If you want to, it can be, but what's something you would tell yourself?
I would tell myself to not be so hard on myself because I tend to like forget I'm human sometimes and I am way too like I stress myself so much.
Yes.
And yeah. And I've learned lately that that's not healthy, one, and also that like I can't expect so much from myself because it's like there's only so much I can do. And if I could go back, I would tell myself to like enjoy things better, like go like enjoy things more, go with the flow and just like be more caring of yourself.
Make sure you tell that to yourself every day when you're in college in engineering.
Yes.
Because if somebody asked me that piece of advice to go back to my college self, you like took it right out of my mouth. Like make sure when you're in school and you're like, I hate physics, that you're like, but I love myself. I'm not hard on myself.
It's all about balance. So continue to work hard. Just don't kill yourself doing it.
Yeah.
All right, Rangeli, what's your question?
So my question is, it's very unfortunate that this is happening with the quarantine and schools closed. But this being your senior year, what is something you were really looking forward to?
Wait, before we go there, I just want to say that Pam is like almost top of her class. From my
No,
understanding,
she is.
From my understanding, it was her and some other guy, right?
Yeah.
So it was like neck and neck to be valedictorian. So being valedictorian, right? I'm saying it correctly.
Yeah.
So to be valedictorian, like where I'm from, where I live right now, currently in Rosa
There's no
Parks.
letters there. He's just saying the sound. Valedictorian.
Like to be like I was valedictorian in my class, but it was a class of 100 when I was in military school. There's a class of 100. You know what I mean? To be valedictorian in Elizabeth High School, where there are hundreds upon hundreds of seniors, that is a gigantic feat, which is something that I'm extremely proud of. So to continue with Rangeli's question, I just want everybody to know that. All right, my wife taught the Valedictorian of 2020.
Oh, I can't.
The Valorian. Angeli, ask your question again.
Oh, boy.
This being your senior year and being unfortunate that you can't be at school, what is something that you were really looking forward to in your senior year?
I mean, I'm pretty sure like every senior, I was really looking forward to my graduation, which is, it's really sad that we don't get to have that moment. It's like such a special stamp in life, and not being able to have that is sad. But I'm trying to like not focus on that and trying to look at a positive outlook rather than just focusing on that aspect.
Yeah. We're proud of you and we love you, and we're going to throw the biggest party for you and all the seniors of this year. And any senior that's watching this, all right, we're going to throw something really, really big for you guys at the Liberty. We're going to talk to Pastor Carlos, who loves you guys with a passion. And like, we're going to
PC doesn't know, but we're going to do a blowout.
PC, Pastor Carlos, you're probably watching this right now and you don't even know, but we're going to be throwing a big... okay?
That's like when you're like, Mom, Dad, listen, this house is gonna be full of kids soon.
We do have we have some questions from the chat if you want to.
Yeah, go ahead.
So actually, first before I do that, we have a lot of people are congratulating you on going to NJIT. Vanessa, JC, Angie, Samantha Nee from is in there too. Valerie, everyone's congratulating you. So we have 3 questions. So it says, Pam, what do you want to do with a biomedical engineering degree?
I want to focus more on the prosthetics side of it, because my grandfather, he had diabetes and he had to get one of his legs amputated, and I don't know, like I felt like inspired. I know a couple of people actually that have had to get amputated limbs because they suffer from diabetes, and I wish like I could have done something, and through this career I can do it. So that's why I chose that major.
There's gonna be a movie out about.
He's gonna have a
I just totally pictured like a Netflix special of Pam.
So if you saw iRobot,
a young Dominican girl comes to
and you
the
saw
US
like Will Smith with the robotic hands.
Yeah.
The person who created that was Pam in the future.
She's right here, guys.
Next question, Billy.
Next one from JC. What are you most excited about going to college? I'll add, besides the brand new gym that NJIT just built last year.
Well, I am certainly excited about that. But I mean, I want to like, I guess meeting new people. Like, I mean, I know like there's a lot of people and a lot of like diversity in high school already, but just like meeting more people, like more like diverse. Also, I mean, just learning. I like learning. I'm that weird teenager. So just learning more and gaining new experiences. that's what I'm looking forward to.
That's what's up. That's it with the questions online.
I've got one more.
Okay.
So the last one from Raquel. How did you manage to do all of your homework, still go to Bridge, and participate in all the church events that you've been doing? How'd you do it? What's the secret?
It requires a lot of diligence and also a lot of stressing out. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I just.
But you're not.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Yeah, but, okay.
But I'm not. But I really am not. I just try to like plan my like just distribute everything like accordingly. If I know that I have something coming up, especially like I tried to do things in advance if I could, or if I got an assignment early, I didn't want to like wait until the very last minute to do it, especially like for instance like BYMC. What I would do is that Friday, on any free time at school, I would do my work then. And that way, like when I came home Sunday, I didn't have to worry about homework and just focus and reflect on the weekend, or like have very little to do. And I just try to like create a schedule for myself where like if I know I have a lot to do, I just list it and like try to work on it accordingly. And it's hard to keep track of everything and do everything like quickly and to keep up with everything, but if you just put effort into it, you can do it.
Awesome. Very proud of you. So we ended up digging up to your Instagram, finding random pictures there that we're going to post up, and you're going to explain to us what was happening there. What was the concept of this picture?
Hi everybody, my name is Pam and I am a student leader at Bridge North Elizabeth.
Hold on one second. The first one is a picture of you with a bunch of other Bridge student leaders with Instagram flower filters on their hair. What's going on?
Snapchat.
That was one day that instead of having regular girls group, we decided to go bowling, and it was really fun. Like we had Michelle and Joanna there, the twins. We had Valerie, Jasley, and just a bunch of like other people and other girls, and it was a lot of fun.
Okay.
I love those trips.
Next one is looks like some kind of big conference or concert thing going on here. What was this?
That was planned in 2018.
Say it again.
The weekend. I was Planet Wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
2018. That was the weekend that Satan tried us, but God said no.
We almost died.
Yeah. That was one of the like most terrifying but yet fun weekends. It was when we went to Washington, Virginia. Is that area?
Virginia, yeah.
Yeah. And basically it was like a kind of like a BYMC conference, but not really. We learned about God. There was a live band. That weekend was wild. Wild. It's great.
All right, the last question. It's actually three pictures. They're all, kind of all go together. So you have three photos on your Instagram taken, I guess, at the same day. One is a panel, looks like, with the cast of the CW show Arrow. And then you have two pictures, one with Candace Patton, who is one of the CW actors from the Flash show, and another one with Tala Ash, who is from the Legends of Tomorrow show. So you did something with, I guess you're a fan of the CW Arrowverse show. So what's going on with these photos?
I went to the Heroes and Villains Fan Fest that was held here in New Jersey, and I got to meet them and talk to them, and I really like the Arrowverse shows, and I don't know, I just find them really entertaining, and I love them, and I got the opportunity to go this was like a gift that I got for passing grades and getting good grades, and I'm really thankful that I got to have this opportunity because these are actresses that I really like admire and I'd follow,
Oh.
So this was a great opportunity that I got.
Which of the shows is your favorite show?
Don't judge me, but I like Legends of Tomorrow because I like the craziness. Don't get me wrong, I like Flash, but
Nobody's judging you, girl.
No, I don't even know many of the shows. So.
Same.
I haven't watched the CW
Since Once Upon a Time.
Yes, since Once Upon a Time. That's true.
Well, Pam,
And
thank you. That's it with the pictures, right, boss?
Yep.
So that's so Pam, thank you so much, like for spending time with us. So we always end the day, right? With we end every guest with having them, what is your words to live by? So these are the words that, this is engraved in your heart. What is the words that you live by? Go ahead.
the words I live by are don't focus on the negative. I tend to do that a lot, and I'm trying to work on it because I don't want to be that person that just lives her life with negativity. Instead of focusing on like the bad things, you can use those bad things to learn something, and you can make something good happen out of those bad things. Like every bad thing that happens in your life happens to teach you something. So don't focus on the negative aspects of that so much.
There you go. Don't focus on the negative, which is huge, right? So many of us do it. It's one of those things, man. Just don't focus on that. Don't focus on the negative. Use them to learn something new. And that's the words by Pam. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's clap it up for Pam.
Hey,
Love you very much
for having me.
Thank you for joining our show. And say goodbye, everybody. You can say goodbye to her.
She should be here every week.
Bye.
Bye, guys.